Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we are going to talk about water fasting with coffee, or coffee fasting, or fasting with coffee, coffee fasting.
We're missing a piece of the puzzle. You start getting healthy and you just become a better person. We need to start focusing more on the individual.
Before we get into today's video, I just got finished doing an amazing video with my brother Steven. We were talking about the new 40-day wellness program that we developed, and we are now opening for enrollment. We've been closed for the past 3 months or so. And, people have been asking us, when's it going to be open? Well, it is open. So check out the webpage. The link is in the description box below. You can go sign up to actually schedule your call. And we're because the class sizes are limited. It's not like everyone is going to be able to get in. I mean, I'm just be honest with that. But we are looking to get those who are ready for transformation in their life. But check out that live that we did if you're interested in learning more about it. Also, obviously, we've got the AHA app still going full force. Check out the AHA app, the AHA app. .com. Link is in the description box as well. All right, so today we're going to be talking about coffee fasting. All right, and I'm just being facetious, but we're talking about doing water fasting or fasting, but including a little coffee with the fast. Should you do it? Should you avoid doing it? What are the benefits? What's the benefits of not doing it? Let's get into it. So when we very first started teaching fasting, we always taught water fasting. It was all that I knew of at the time. All right. And then as time went on, I started learning about different ways to fast. I started practicing with different ways to fast. I even developed unique techniques, cycles, and some really amazing ways to make fasting more efficient. Um, let's look at efficiency of the fasting. So when we talk about fasting, the most efficient fasting you can do is the fasting that you can do. And what I mean by that is every single person is an individual with their own set of ailments or issues in their body, their own strengths and their own weaknesses. Remember that your wellness journey is it's always about this is your world, okay? Myself and other people who teach and coach, we're just here to impart wisdom, experience, and guidance, but it's really going to be up to you to make these ultimate decisions. What I tell people is the best fast for you is the one that you can complete. Okay. So let me just put this general statement out there that I am not going to necessarily say that 100% one way is better or 100% one way is not as good or better. All I'm doing is I want to impart some information for you all to make informed decisions. And really, I want you to pay attention to what works for you. Okay. Now, with that being said, from the standpoint of, let's say that you're 400 pounds, 500 pounds, or let's say that you are a diabetic and you're in danger of losing a limb, or let's say that you are, a cancer patient or one of these terminal illnesses, okay? And you've identified fasting as a healthy alternative to start the process of healing and reverse whatever this condition that you're dealing with is. Under those conditions, the most powerful fast that you can do is going to be dry fasting, right? Now, this is a very general statement, okay? Dry fasting is more powerful than water. Water is more powerful than juice. Juice is more powerful than liquids. Liquids fasting would be more powerful than like a whole fruit fast, so on and so forth. Okay. And so there's many variables, but this is kind of a general way to look at it, not really understanding the ins and outs of your particular situation. This is just kind of the hierarchy that I have not only read about but also personally experienced. All right, dry fasting is the creme de la creme. I have not experienced anything as powerful as that. Now, the other piece of the puzzle is how doable is dry fasting and how doable is dry fasting for you? What level of competency do you have as it relates to fasting? And have you done any fasting in the past? There's many variables. If you're just looking to jump right out and dive headfirst into it, I probably would not recommend dry fasting. If you have a strenuous job, or if you just have a really strenuous lifestyle, children, spouses, etc., I probably wouldn't recommend jumping into dry fasting. Even though we look at it as the creme de la creme, we still want to make sure that what we're doing is reasonable and sustainable, right? Sustainability is kind of the theme. So in comes bulletproof coffee from the ketogenic side, and or just taking some coffee with your fast as a way to make the overall fast more tolerable. What are some of the benefits? Well, it helps with appetite. If you're doing a bulletproof coffee, it really is going to help with promoting ketone production and keeping the appetite subsided. What does this do? It makes the fast easier. It just does. Um, Here's my thing. You could do the same thing with pretty much, I'm not going to say pretty much anything. There's many other options outside of just coffee to get this kind of result, right? Many people have found just a sprinkle of salt in their water makes their fast much easier. I'm not completely against it. Okay. One of the things that I have done my best to make clear to the community is that you don't have to take things in your water, or you don't have to do coffee or something with your fast. It's not required. If you do it, it's because you choose to do it, but you just need to understand why you're doing it. That's all. That way, if you want to do pure water fasting, you can do that and you understand why you're doing it. And if you want to add coffee or something, you could do that and you understand why you're doing it. The other thing is, I never wanted to give someone an inch. And that sounds very selfish of me, but it was really to me being an overprotective wellness coach guy. I always felt like if I really promote anything else besides pure water fasting, what ends up happening is you give a mouse a cookie and they're going to want a glass of milk, right? We talked about this maybe a week or two ago. It's the idea that people, what we're dealing with is typically people are battling the ability to constrain themselves. Fasting in general is already a difficult practice, coming from eating every day for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And then so to say we're going to do a pure fast, it's challenging mentally and physically. If I say, well, you can have a little coffee, you may start to wonder what else can you have, right? And then that becomes this spiral oftentimes for people, because what we're dealing with is addictive personalities and people who have issues with constraint. So I always wanted to keep it as pure as possible, not just because it was more optimal physically for the benefits, but because I don't want you all getting to a place where you're doing pure fast and you add a little coffee and then you add a little juice and then you start doing smoothies and now you're eating whole fruit, and well, you might as well just eat meat again, right? So that was kind of the thought process of that. And lately I've been more open about that. And of course, if anybody ever consulted with me, it was always a more one-on-one discussion where I would give you different options and things like that. So am I going to sit here and say that drinking coffee on your fast is going to be completely detrimental? No. If you can drink coffee on your fast, right? Let's say that you've tried water fasting and you just cannot seem to get that straight. But you could do bulletproof coffee on your fast, or you could do coffee on your fast and you could get through. Listen, more than likely, somebody who wants to do bulletproof coffee or coffees, they're probably drinking coffee already anyway. So if you fast all day and all you have is a cup of coffee in the morning or whatever the case may be, you're probably going to see some major benefits, right? Fasting is a really, really powerful process, and it is not. It doesn't have to be the purest fast. You just want to make sure that if you're adding anything to your fast, stay within the confines of whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. Now, one of the benefits of doing a pure water fast, outside of the fact that I truly believe that you're going to lose weight faster, you're going to deal with less skin, you're going to hydrate so much better. We talked about, I think, on the last video, how coffee is dehydrating. So you're going to hydrate so much better, which is going to increase the longevity of everything that you're doing. There is absolutely something to be said for mental stimulation. Okay. So, let's look at muscles, right? Why do we go to the gym? Why do we break our muscles down? Because you're stimulating the muscles. As you're working out, you're breaking your muscles down, you're stimulating the muscles, you're stimulating the body to say, hey, let's send more muscle fibers there. Let's build the muscle stronger so that it can resist more weight, more impact, more whatever, right? So there's a mental stimulation that you get from doing the more difficult fast. And this is something that actually I kind of touched on a little bit in the live that Stephen and I did not too long ago. It's essentially this idea that when you complete a X amount of time, 7 days, 10 days, 21 days, whatever, you complete a fast, a pure fast, it really is empowering. I mean, it is really empowering. All right. um you genuinely get this sense that, or at least I got the sense, I was like, yeah, I could do anything. I could do anything. Well, not everybody, a lot of people told me I was going to die, I was hurting myself, blah 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 blah, and I was able to do X amount of days with just drinking water. That sense of empowerment is not to be discounted. Sometimes when we make our fasting process so easy, we miss out on the mental stimulation, the mental toughness that we gain from doing it. Listen, maybe that's not for everybody. Maybe that's not what you're interested in. Maybe you just want to simply lose some weight. Maybe you're just interested in reversing this disease. If that's the case for you, then yeah, adding something to your water may make the process easier for you and more sustainable. If you're looking for a very rich and holistic experience, then I would encourage you to look at a more purist route. And so that's kind of the distinction that I want to make there. It's not necessarily that one is good or one is bad, you know. And guess what? There's levels to everything. So, there's a lot of people. Steve actually talks often about how when he very first started fasting, he was fasting for the wrong reasons, maybe even malicious reasons. And that was a good motivator for him. And he was able to lose, 140 or whatever it was pounds. And then at some point, he realized that that wasn't strong enough. That wasn't good enough motivation. He did all that. He lost all the weight, and it just wasn't enough. And so through his journey, he, had to find new motivation, and that's okay. Maybe you're at a place now where you're like, yo, I just want to look good. I just want to feel better about my body. I want to be more attractive to the opposite sex, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to get the weight off. And I'm not really worried about building mental toughness. I'm not really worried about, how fasting or how this experience can benefit me in other aspects of my life. I'm just honed in on this one thing. Hey, go for it. I really don't hold it against you. I'm not really here to tell people what's right for their journey. Once again, my goal is really to provide information. I want to provide you with the most optimal information so you can make the decision that makes the most sense for you. So the main reason that I would say don't have coffee on your fast is because of the fact that it's a diuretic. Okay, it's going to make you pee. It's going to force water out of your system. That is really my main thing. Um, if you're going to do something like coffee, there's probably better alternatives. You might be able to go with an herbal tea. Okay, something that is not only going to um, have little effect as far as like a diuretic, but maybe even give you some positive effects, like It can help you cleanse or detox better. There's many different benefits of herbal teas and plants. So that's, I mean, you know, you could just have fun with that. Um, you could also do, like I said, just a little pinch of salt that makes your fast a little easier. You could do a different type of fast. You could do green juice. You could do a liquid fast. You could do vegetable broth. You could do juice fasting. Right, juice fasting has its benefits. There's other options. Or you could do it the long way, right? You could build a nice solid foundation for yourself. Learn about prep, learn about hydrations, start detoxing before you ever even get into a fast. And you could go that route where you could do the pure water fasting and not experience the extreme detox symptoms that a lot of people experience, which is why they go to coffee and other things. There's many different ways that you can approach this. Once again, I'll end it by saying that you're going to want to utilize whatever technique makes the most sense for you as an individual. All right, that is what I'm going to say that you should use on your fast. So if that means using a little coffee now, listen, at least you have a better view of the big picture. You can understand the benefits of using coffee, maybe the things that aren't so great about using coffee, the benefits of a pure fast versus not doing a pure fast, and everything in between, so you can make an informed decision. And yeah, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope it maybe cleared this up a little bit, maybe made you feel a little bit better about what you were doing. I'm never looking to make anybody feel like what they're doing is wrong or whatever, because it is your journey. And even things that we view as bad right now in this moment, right? There's things that could happen to us today that we would be like, yo, this is horrible. It's still to be determined. There are some of the most impactful things in life will come from tragedy, you know? And that's kind of why I'm like, push yourself to that limit. You know what I mean? Get yourself uncomfortable with the pure water fasting. It's probably going to build something amazing for you in the future. I know it did for me. But if you're not ready for that, if you've got a strenuous job, whatever the case may be, hey, do what works for you. As long as you're fasting in some form or fashion, I'm happy. As long as you're changing your strategy, or just creating a strategy for you that is benefiting you, that is causing you to lose weight, to reverse that disease, I'm happy. Keep in mind that if you use other techniques for long durations of time, results may vary. So when it comes to AHA and what I teach and how I teach it, if you do choose strategies outside of what I teach, do not assume that you're going to have the same results as what other people are getting. Remember that, okay? That was one of the main reasons why I was really cautious about people taking in electrolytes on their fast, because I noticed that people who consistently did long fasts with electrolyte drinks and powders and things were getting large amounts of loose skin. So just keep that in mind. But if you're okay with that, then do what makes sense for you. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.